I always loved singing at a young age. Like even when I was 3, it was just something that came really naturally to me. And then in high school, I was lucky enough to go to a high school that had a really good program. I don't think I'd be taking this career path if I went anywhere else.
Like what age did you start? Like, were you in a choir class?
I started choir, like AM choir in elementary school, and I was in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I mean, it was like 90 kids in a little portable, like just yelling basically.
Mm-hmm.
But and then middle school came, and that's when I did jazz choir and like a real choir class, which like required obviously a little more dedication.
Were you motivated to just do that just cause like you knew that you enjoyed it? Did you know you were good right away?
I don't know. I mean, I started singing talent shows when I was like 5. Like that was just something I always did, and it just seemed like a natural path to me to just keep doing choir and stuff, because in middle school that was the only option there was for singing was jazz choir, and I always loved singing like by myself. I wasn't like, I mean, I did choir because of the training, and I knew it was good for me to just be singing every day, but I preferred singing by myself because then I didn't have to worry about blending and stuff, which was always something that was a little hard for me because my voice was more suited for musical theater, but I didn't really like peg that then. So
it's funny, that's something that was hard for me too. Like I was always like a sore thumb.
No, and I even how bad like I tried, it just was my voice was a lot brighter than other people's, and I always like I never really like thought about doing musical theater until freshman year. Like when I did it, it wasn't something that I had really even known about beforehand. I mean, some people have it in their blood, like at, you know, age 4 when they see their first Broadway show. I had seen a couple. It never seemed like something I would do.
So it was your freshman year then, where people were like, okay. And was there like friends that told you to do it, like, or
no,
no? You just kind of saw that it was something.
I don't know. Freshman year, I obviously didn't get very big roles, like, and deservingly. I mean, it was, you had to work your way up, and I respected that, like that seniority and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it was a little harder for my freshman year to discover that might be actually what I really wanted to do. But seeing what, you know, the seniors at that time when I was a freshman were doing, like, really intrigued me, and I kept thinking, you know, if I stay with this, like, I feel like I really could love it.
So at what point was there a change for you? From, I think I could love it, to, I love it, and I want to make it my career.
I think that would be probably the summer before my junior year. I mean, and the switch has been fairly recent. Like, it's been something I've been battling with. I mean, I'm seeing what my sister's doing. She's at MSNBC. She graduated from UW in business. Like, pretty, I mean, very exceptional, but also fairly normal in a sense, like for a career pathway to be going into a business and doing that and doing something that's pretty, like, generally known as pretty successful and good money and stuff. And so for me, it was like that was always kind of the only option, was to do something like that. And so it's been just like, I mean, it's been continuous probably since, you know, 2 summers ago. I've kept thinking, like, okay, well, I love it. I think this would be a good career, but I just don't know if it's worth it. Like, I don't know if you know, there's always the doubt, like, am I good enough? And, like, is someone gonna, like, even want me? And just money, too. I mean, in a world where that's pretty important, and kind of that grueling grind is kind of what we live by. And art didn't really seem like a career of mine. And,
right.
And that's, like, I mean, even till this day, it's, like, something, I mean, it's not something, like, obviously now I'm going into it, I'm trying it, I'm throwing myself into it with as much as I can, and I've accepted that, you know, I might be, like, bussing tables for my life, but if I'm doing something on the side that I love, like, it's different. It's different than another career, because you have to work to support what you're doing. And in other people, that just comes, like, hand in hand. You're just, like, working to support yourself. And so for me, it'll be more working to support my hobby and my other career.
Right.
So it's just something I've come to terms with and realized that I feel it's worth it to do that. And I think confidence is a huge part of it. If you feel like yourself you can do it, and if you've been surrounded with good people that have been good for your confidence, that can go miles. I guess part myself, but then part just competing to win the ending goal. Like,
you want to be the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to do my best, and that's because, like, to me, like, in school anyways, it's like, okay, final goal, graduation. like good college, good transcript, like that, and that's I think some people have a hard time in school because they don't have that competitive edge, and I have that with everything that I do. Like I'm incredibly competitive.
What? Why?
I have no idea, because my personality probably wouldn't let on that I wanted to kind of be the best or anything. And it's not that I need to be like number one or anything like that, but I feel like I need to kind of win against myself at least, and maybe surpass what I expected from myself. And I think I think that's what, like, that competitiveness is what keeps me going, like, every single day. It's like there's always something more that can be achieved, and always something I can work towards, and that makes, life and everything worth it.
But singing in and of itself, like, does it do anything to you? Does it mean anything to you separately than musical theater, or is it kind of one and the same?
I mean, I think singing to me is a time where it's like, no matter what I'm stressed out about, no matter what I'm really like, what's bothering me or something like that, it's like as soon as I sing, as soon as I open my mouth to sing, even if it's just in the kitchen, pouring a bowl of cereal or something, it's like it takes those thoughts away. Like, you're just kind of thinking about like what you're singing in that moment, and it's I mean, it's, if you really truly love it, I think it can be a really healing thing. Just singing, like, for the joy of singing, like whether that's singing in your car to like some song on the radio, or just singing professionally and formally in front of people. It's, if you love it, like, you should get that feeling out of it. Like, it really has a huge healing power.
Okay, from all the experience that you've had, like starting with Susan Jones and even like your elementary teacher, all the way up till now, and then in terms of a vocal director or any director, what do you think is important in terms of qualities for them to have?
I think good qualities I've noticed in any type of directing I've had, patience is a huge one, but not too patient. I think when people get too patient to, okay, well, you'll have it next time, or okay, like, I trust that you'll get it, then you don't feel a sense of urgency, and I think that that's important too. So I think finding a good balance of being patient, but also being like urgent in a sense is probably key. And I think if I had to choose between, like more on one side, I'd pick the more urgent side for me, because I feel like in the competitive sense, it's kind of like when you're having something going against you, like a sense of time or something like that, it's important to be really aware of that. And that helped me, was having like pressure in a sense.
It's almost like a coach.
Yeah.
A drill coach.
And I think, other good qualities are being very, very like straightforward and open. Like, I don't really like when people beat around the bush with stuff or try and say something. I'm like, if it sounds bad, I want to know. And if it sounds bad, I want you to tell me that. Like, especially at a more high school level. Middle school, I don't know if I would appreciate it. I would have appreciated that much, because you're still learning in middle school. Like, you're still wanting it to be a really safe environment to create art in. And I think, and that's something obviously you still want in high school, but your skin is toughened by then, and you realize that whatever the instructor's telling you, it's for the good of the team.